What's up, guys? Welcome to the Imagination Show today. It's already been a while, it's been a week. Yeah, so you guys,
We are
missed the
here.
past week.
Yeah.
Hey, teenagers are wilding.
We are out there. We are dominating.
The Kenya we're living in.
Hey, I think at least like 7 girls get lost, and then wakirudi home, someone is just out there like, I just needed time away from home.
Time.
A week. Hey, mi mwenyewe nikitoka hata 2 hours naulizwa where have you been? Where are you? Unarudi saa ngapi?
Mambo ya mzazi iko wapi? Hey, you don't even know. You know,
But
you're just
seriously.
watching news. Ukitufanya hivi.
You're like you don't because you don't know what to expect nowadays.
Unless
Oh,
unasikia
God.
tunaitwa. Can you see this?
Can you see your fellow girls?
Your fellow girls. Hey, but you know what? Hey,
But seriously, it's not bad to have a space. But can't you just lock yourself in your room and like have your space? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to go outside and do some
One whole
obscene
week.
things.
7 days uko nje, you've not even informed your parents.
but we move on regardless. So guys, welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Omoto, and on the panel we have Ray right here, we have Virginia, and we have Ryan. And yeah, this is gonna be a wonderful show.
Yeah.
So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. The Imagination Show begins now.
Right now.
Yeah, so today we're going to be tackling a very critical matter, which is mental health. Yeah, so first off, we'll just go straight to it, and we are going to be looking at what causes mental health issues these days with teenagers today. Yeah, what do you people think is the other causes?
Okay, causes. Okay, for us, from my point of view, I think the causes are like there's misunderstanding misunderstanding at home. You know, everything starts at home. So yeah, that's what I can
Charity
say.
begins at home.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, when we talk about mental health, this is a very pregnant topic to discuss because it's something that affects we cannot say it affects teenagers, we cannot put it in a bracket. It affects almost everyone, I would say, yeah. And it starts from being a child up to teenage, up to adulthood. Actually, it goes up to adulthood. So when you talk about mental, it's something to do with the mind. It's something, it just starts in the mind. So I think it's something that like how someone feels, how someone thinks, how they react to issues, how they react to matters affecting them. So it just starts from the mind. I think it just starts from within. So we have this thing called, what do we call it? Self-esteem issues, where someone sees him or herself like being of no worth. Like unajiona kwa crowd, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, you can physically diminish yourself. Or
Yeah, or maybe if you see your other colleagues or other friends with the shoes, the classy clothes, you're like, oh my God, I'm off. So it is something that it's there, yeah, it's there. So we just have to address it.
Yeah, so Ryan, what do you think can cause mental health issues these days?
These days, actually, among youth, actually the youth are the people who usually experience mental health issues a lot because there's a research statistics I saw somewhere that about 13% of the children experience mental health issues, and then 46% of the teenagers, and then for the adults around 19%. I think the main reason why the teenagers experience mental health illness majorly is because of the expectations. Just as Virginia has said, like having that much expectation, and always just trying to impress your friends a lot. To a certain point, you'll reach that. Let me say, for example, a friend of mine, Redon has bought a new iPhone 12, and then me kona ile Itel
For 50.
yeah, unaona hiyo like to some point it will stress me out like why am I mbona mimi sina nini,
Yeah.
such kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I
The
think-
thing about mtu kwa you mtu kwa form 4. Yeah. People expect you to pass.
Yeah, but it's
The grades.
The pressure.
Yeah.
unamaliza shule.
Yeah, so
But I think the bottom line there is just comparing yourself to people.
Yeah.
This is something that is there. Like for us, most of us teenagers, we like comparing ourselves. Uya kona hii, I must have that. And you forget to bear in mind that it's you, ni wewe. See, you don't have
also your
to,
background.
yeah, you don't have to go around pleasing people or rather being with that class. I usually tell people, if you see someone on Facebook or rather Instagram giving you pressure, I usually tell people just unfollow that person because it won't eat you up, you won't die. You just unfollow and then you do your thing. You just be you.
yeah, I also feel like some people who are born maybe with conditions like ADHD or some people who are bipolar, you know, some people who are who have what's this thing called dyslexia. Yeah, you know, sometimes people in the society, people around them don't really understand them. Yeah, so you know, and so as a result of that, they make fun of them a lot. You know, so you know, not being understood can also lead to having issues.
Mental issues.
Issues
Yeah.
with their mental
Because
health.
I personally feel like this generation, like people have problems, but many people don't know about don't have an idea about bipolar
Disorders.
people with personality disorders. Because we all know, like, if someone has a problem, it's just like the common issues we know, like, yeah, he's an addict because of one reason or another, it's depression. But people don't know, or like, very few people know have the knowledge about bipolar personalities.
Yeah.
And
So,
also how to handle them, like usually because they have a very different mindset compared to ours. Their moods change very, very easily.
Very
That's true.
easily.
So we can move on to the risks that people who have mental health issues face, like you know the consequences, what it can result to having mental health issues and you know not doing anything about it. Yeah, what do you think it can lead to?
Okay, as for me, I'll give my personal
Yeah,
my personal
it's
experience.
safe.
Okay, so there's a time early this year, I just like felt everything was all grey in my life, and it led me to cut my hand, and I have the scars right here, and
Oh,
you know,
so
every time I
bad.
look at them, it just reminds me of very bad memories. But I really thank God that I got someone to talk to, and yeah, because that's the time I like just cut myself, and I just wanted to bleed out till I die, but I managed to talk to people, and yeah, so that's how.
Self-harm can
Yeah, so it's
is one
self-harm
thing, and
is one thing.
if you have an issue and you don't get help, you know, self-harm is something really bad, you know, cutting, burning. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
toxic.
most people think that if someone has depression or has a mental problem, it's because maybe they're left or like umeachwa. Yeah. Like, but you know,
You're done.
that's not the case because you know, okay, yeah, in life, kaujaachwa, you're not a person. Like, just trust me, you have a
From
sad
the
life.
horse's mouth.
Yeah, you have because I have to come clean nincha yaachwa, and that's just true. But you know, you have to pick up the
It's good
pieces.
you got someone to
Yeah,
talk to
because-
and then you got out of the
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah,
also,
it's good.
time I think also heals. Time you forget and come to terms with it that yes, I'm in Yacha and I have to move on. Life has to go on.
You have to
That is it.
accept. That's not easy, but you have to accept
accept.
and just move
I
on.
can also attest to it. There's a time I just felt as if everything is just calming down. And do you know what I used to do? I used to sleep. Like I could sleep. I will sleep and tell myself I don't want to wake up. I don't know, but at least I got out of it. I talked to people and then they encouraged me. I got some verses. I encouraged myself and then at least I got out of the problem.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think it
And,
can?
For me, let me start with my experience. Like when I was still in primary, usually when I was sad, I used to eat a lot and a lot of junk. Like I would come from school, the money that I'd say go buy chips or just anything to eat,
Candies.
and then somehow it's sort of like relieved it. But then nowadays, I tend to focus much more on positive things. And for instance, usually I try to go to gym whenever I'm stressed, like go work out to do, just keep my mind occupied.
Oh.
And it usually helps.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some other risks that come with having mental health issues?
Well, they're like, okay, like the risks are a lot, and like another risk is like you can have how's it called? You can have also eating disorders, because you can find someone who eats too much or doesn't eat, or if they
someone
eat,
can be anorexic.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
have
there's
bulimia.
that condition that when you eat, you want to
you,
puke.
you force yourself
Yeah.
to throw up afterwards.
throw up.
Bulimia.
and
Yeah,
it also
that-
and also it can bring up psychosis actually. So it's really a delicate thing to have.
I also think someone can get aggressive. The aggressiveness can come with
Yeah.
because the frustration that the person is dealing with is sometimes it gets unbearable. So
Yeah.
someone can just have the behavioral issues. Yeah.
And it can also lead to someone engaging in drugs.
Yeah,
Just to
actually,
get that,
yeah. Because
that feeling of
you feel
satisfaction.
satisfied, but for a very short time.
Now that's a disadvantage.
Yeah,
part of
because-
it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can go to the extreme and cause death. And so far, they say I've lost 2 friends due to depression. And but like in short, like we all have to be there for each other, because life is not easy, and we all need each other to survive.
Because I also feel like it can affect someone's educational well-being. Because first,
The
concentration-
grades.
Hey, concentration.
We got you.
Don't worry.
Concentration span
Pan.
will be like, me and my friends usually say, will be like that of a goldfish. Because they have a really short
Yeah.
30
concentration
minutes.
span.
Mind imeenda.
Yeah,
Even 30 minutes, so much. Like,
yeah, so
mtu anakaa
they won't
20
be able
minutes.
to retain everything they learn, and even when it comes to reading, they won't be able to,
to grasp what's there.
to
really.
grasp what they're talking about. Yeah, so it can lead to getting really bad grades, and
Yeah.
even getting the aggressiveness. It can lead to being suspended from school. It can lead to expulsion from school. Yeah, so those are some consequences that I feel.
There's
can
this
come with-
one thing that one can also withdraw from others. Like, you just want to sit alone, you want to be alone, you just want to be you, like just you don't want to interact with people or to go out and meet people. You just want to sit at home alone.
And yet, as you all know, humans are social beings. We need.
So
Exactly.
yeah, those are some of the risks that can come with it. So we can go to how can we avoid it in the first place? Avoid the whole depression phase, avoid the whole getting the mental health issues. How do you guys think this can be avoided?
Like I said earlier, it just starts from here. It starts from your thoughts, your mind, your everything. So you just have to be, like, you just have to have your self-worth. Like, you just be there, I'm capable of this, your potential, each and everything that you're capable of. And then you tell yourself, even if they say this, even if the environment or the world say this, I know I can do this. Then
You have your own definition
you
of
have-
yourself.
you have-
yeah,
very
then you can
positive
also
mindset.
be around people who have positive
Who build
opinions
you.
about you. Yeah, people who build you. Like, you don't expect to be somewhere where you receive negative thoughts, like you're stupid.
You
You're
want to be next to people who have just good vibes.
there's this story I learned. I read somewhere that a child, you used the mother when she was dressing the child. She used to tell the child that you're smart, my daughter, you're smart. So when this daughter gets out of there, when she meets the friends maybe tell her, your dress is full of red, your dress is so awkward. But the child used to say, but my mom told me I'm smart. So it built that child. It's
Yeah.
The self-confidence.
yeah, it's developed the self-confidence that you're smart. Even if they say this, you're smart. Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, tell us, what do you think? How
For me,
do
I
you
think
can avoid
majorly,
it?
I'll agree with Virginia, as she has said, because having that positive mindset really helps a lot. Because once you start thinking negative about yourself, it will really distort the way you think and how you view yourself, even before your friends or your family. So, like, having that positive mindset really helps a lot, and knowing your worth. And also just, there are these negative comments from some kind of friends you can't
Yeah.
avoid, but
Yeah.
as much as they'll come, try to just let them come in from this year, then go out from
Out.
the next year.
Yeah, I also feel like, parents have a role in ensuring the good
Well-being.
health of the minds of their children. Like being giving them a safe space at home. You know, it can giving them trust, giving them enough love.
Yeah.
You know, understanding them, listening to them. It can really help with the child's mental well-being. Comment on what do you think can someone can do to avoid, you know, getting a mental health issue. How do you think someone can be able to boost their mental well-being? Make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you like and make sure you subscribe to this channel. So we are going to take a break and move on to the challenge, and we will see you there. Hi guys, so this is the time for the challenge. It's me, Omoto. So today's challenge, unaona nimeshika hapa sanitizer because we're going to be a little bit much closer to each other. So what's gonna happen? Guys are gonna like crowd in the middle, and then you're going to stretch out and hold the whichever hand you can. So when you're like that detangled, you're going to try to unknot yourself and make a straight line with all of you facing the same direction. Yeah? So that's what we're gonna do right now. So right now we're going to sanitize. Hey. Let's do this. Teaches us that you know, everything can be solved by teamwork. You know, detangling that would be solved just by teamwork. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you all learned that from that. And yeah, now we are done with the challenge and we are going to go back to the session. I'll see you guys there. Nyaje, so we have come back from the challenge. You guys, Mona Geo challenge.
It was
It's
very,
been lit.
very challenging. Actually,
Anyway.
But
Anyway, so we can go back to our discussion before we go to our live audience. So we're talking about the whole aspect of mental health, the causes, the risks, and how we can avoid it. Yeah. And so we're going to go with, now there's some people who are already suffering from mental health issues. So how can we help people like this? Yeah, how do you guys think that we can help people like this?
okay, I think as from my side, I think we should like first build trust with them, because when someone has trust in with you or on you, he or she can tell you anything. And us as people, when someone opens up to us, we're not supposed to use that against them, but we're supposed to keep it, because we have to keep it because between us and them. Because I feel like communication really works. As for me, because yeah, that's what I think.
There's this.
It's our responsibility to know how well our friends are. Like once in a while, you should always try to check out
Like
on our
the
friends.
general
like,
checkups and
randomly.
stuff.
I know there are people on WhatsApp whom we talk to daily, but there are those naongea last month or the previous
No,
month.
not
but
to
then
status. You just
just
status
once in a while,
viewers.
try to break the boredom. Like send a message asking how someone is, venye wako ni- to just to get to know how people are, because usually you don't know what people are going through. Naweza ona maybe he muted, like alinyamaza, he went silent, but you don't know what the person is really going through. So just being there for them.
Yeah, so for someone who's going through something, I really feel like if they are around people that they love, people that they trust, it can really help. Even if they don't really feel like talking about it, being with someone who you just love, it can help you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, I think also the aspect of therapy, you can visit a therapist. Like we know this is when it's overboard. Like we say, it's overboard. Like when you feel like let me talk to the introverts. Let me say, when you feel like there's no one listening to you, there's no one, like you can't run to anyone. You can just go visit the therapist. They know their work better. They can talk, and then when you get there, try and open up.
Okay,
Like,
so,
just-
yes, because sometimes, I have a friend who goes to therapy, and she usually tells me that sometimes talking to a stranger is actually better. Yeah, so she feels
Yeah.
like talking to a stranger
because
is
you,
better.
because you see when you there are others that think when you talk to your friend, maybe atenda kwambia ule mwingine atenda kwambia this one has this problem.
And now as
So
a stranger ni mtujui, like you are sure your secret is maybe safe with them. Like hata akiambia
yeah,
mtu
atenda
then-
kuambia nani, atambia nani mwenye unajua.
yeah, so I think it helps. And then another thing for those guys who have poor mental health, like it's just a step. You can just take a step to accept that you have it, because when you take a step to accept it, it's when you can be even the friend or the therapist, if akiingia ndani, like you'll be able to air out your problem. Because if you sit there like, no, mi sina shida, no, then someone comes and tries to talk to you, then you'll be like, mbona ananiongelesha na mi sina shida. So it's just upon you, just on that, like it's not a bad thing, because it can be healed. You can talk to someone, it can be
No
healed.
one's perfect.
So
And,
yeah,
it's
so
someone
you
like-
just own it and say, anyway, I have a problem, and then you find someone you can trust, like you just said, find someone you can trust, then pour out your issues. And then I have this problem with people, like mostly men. There's this toxic masculinity
but it's
where
really
the male gender see it like sasa nitaongelesha mtu like
Actually-
anaona ni shida yangu, anataka kupambana kimwanaume.
Men rarely open up to people.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
hard
that's
for men to open up
that's
to people.
something I've learned. Please, to our viewers who are male, please open up.
Open up.
These things are
Don't
there.
hurt.
Yeah, depression is there.
think-
You'll get out of it. Just
think-
please open up. There are others who even say crying they cannot cry.
crying.
Lieni, men, lieni, toeni machos.
Because by the way,
Imagine it heals.
like speaking from my own point of view, by the way, we all have our down times. No one is like, no matter how strong you are, yes, you'll have to break down. You see, so I feel like just get someone that you really trust. Because okay, in this generation, it's really hard for you to find someone who you trust. But just find someone you can trust and just build confidence with them, so that you can open up to them when you have a problem or something. So that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
So
Because I don't trust people easily, by the way. I
we
don't.
can we can do
I don't trust
we
nah.
can relate this mental health issue, the mental health idea with scriptures from the Bible.
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
story of Elijah. Elijah, there was a time when he was being hunted down by Queen Jezebel, and he got to a point he just gave up, and he just wanted to die. He just wanted to die, but God told him, God provided food and water and told him to rest, and said that when you wake up you'll feel better. And actually when he woke up he actually felt better. For sometimes just getting a good meal and good rest can help you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
And also there's this verse from the Bible, Isaiah 26:3. I think maybe it says, "You, Lord, give perfect peace to those who keep their purposes firm and put their trust in you." So I think what the verse says is just like, just trust in God and all shall be well.
Yeah, put your trust in the Lord and everything will come your way.
And by the way, for our viewers, the Bible also talks about depression and anxiety. So I will shift to Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer," keyword is prayer, "by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your mind in Christ Jesus." So whenever you have any mental problem or mental issues, just direct it all to God, because God knows us best. After God, you know yourself best. So I feel like we should all trust in God. Though it's at times when we have problems, we kind of feel like we're between a rock and hard place. But trust me, with God, all rocks will be broken and nothing is impossible with God.
Yeah, we should also pray. Sometimes you can just look for a place, kneel down, and speak to your God.
Yeah, so now we can go to our live audience. I will acknowledge them. What's up, guys?
What's poppin'?
What's happening?
Tuambieni.
Yeah, so we can go to our live audience to receive any questions or any comments regarding this topic. So we'll begin with my girl Nalu.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, we've heard from you on the causes of mental disorders and the effects. So what I want to ask is that, most of us are teenagers, but how do you deal with mental disorder in a child? In a young child, let's say, who is not a teenager, or let's say your sibling or something of the sort.
I feel like in that aspect, the parent really needs to step up. When we talked about giving someone a safe space, giving a child safe space really really helps in their mental well-being. Because if the child feels the love, if the child feels the trust, feels the understanding, it's really going to boost everything, including the self-esteem of the child. So when it comes to that, I feel like the parent needs to step up.
You remember the story I told you about the mother who tells a child you're smart. So the child, in the mind, the child is like, "Oh, I'm smart. No one can tell me anything.
Yeah,
I'm
the child
smart."
cultivates a positive attitude, a positive mindset when they are young, it could really help as they grow up.
It all starts at home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we can.
That's the baseline, where it all begins.
Yeah. So I hope that one is
point is
clear.
Clearly understood.
Yeah. So you can go back there to the audience.
Okay, we've heard from you saying that when you're, say, for example, you're depressed of something or you're going through tough times, you go to those who will build you up, will build you up and will encourage you through those tough times and show you love. So I've found myself in this situation where I totally don't know any person in that environment who I can trust, because they're just like, most of them know each other and You can't just go over there, then you disrupt that group of theirs, then you find yourself alone. At that moment, you don't know who to trust. You're going through difficult times, and most of the time, I actually find myself crying, and I don't know where to go. So how can I go over that?
Okay, so I'll refer you to Philippians 4:6-7. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." So if you're not able or comfortable to trust people around you, there's God. God can never ever fail you or can never betray your trust. So yeah.
And also, I think if you feel like you can't trust those around you, you can even try, going to kama unaenda kuongea na pasi, ama if maybe, I don't know if it really works, this is talking to a stranger.
Yeah, by the way,
works
Your
for
secret
me.
is safe with them.
For some it works.
yeah, for some
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, I also feel like there's some people even in your contact list. Maybe even if you've like never been friends with them, you might never know when miracles can happen. You
Yeah,
might
that's
find
true.
There's someone there
You may
hata
never
kama
know where help
hamujai
comes
ongea
from.
like so much, you'll just decide, you know what? Let me just open up. You might find they can actually be
Even those people
insightful.
that you don't know that they just slid to your DM and like safe for safe. You never know who
Yeah,
can come
you
to
don't
your
know
life
where
at what
help
time.
comes from.
Yeah, so we can go. I hope that drove the point home. Yeah, so we can go to a live audience for another comment question.
Yes, a very informative discussion you guys are having. So I just have a point to add on about ways to avoid mental illness, which can also work for those who are experiencing it. You should find things that make you happy,
Yeah.
like your hobbies or something like that, so that it also helps in finding healing. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but because happiness, the environment you are in or the people around you don't determine your happiness. Happiness is determined
Comes from
within. Yeah,
not
happiness
from other
comes from
people. It
within.
starts with you, your own self. You are able to make yourself happy, not other people, but you.
Yeah, also to beef it up, you should not be idle all the times because we're told an idle mind is a devil's
devil's
The devil's
workshop.
workshop.
So you should find something. And when we say something, it's something constructive.
Something that
Don't
builds
don't go and do all the obscene things you're seeing people doing outside here. Do something constructive.
Okay, I'm enjoying the topic. I want to add on something. Especially when I go through hard times, I just take the Bible and God opens, I don't know, God works in His own way. He gives me a verse and I start reading it. I don't know if it will work with people, but first you need to know who God is. Then God will make everything known to you. He will just open you up to you because God will accept you just the way you are. And one verse to add on that is that even how hard it gets when you feel so lonely or whatever the thing that went through, please just focus on God. Because I don't know it's in which verse, he tells us that the old is gone, the new has come. Just be a new person, even though it might be so traumatizing. You have lost a loved one, maybe you went through an exam, you failed. Just take your heart and just tell yourself that the old is gone and the new has come. I won't want anyone to tell me what to do with my life, because I know God is the one who controls it, and He's the author of my life. That's for me.
because God can never let you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Thank
so
you
sweet.
so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, live audience. We love you guys. So we can come to what Virginia was saying. When the former lastborn stops becoming the lastborn, when you are the lastborn, then another child comes.
And then the attention shifts
And then
all
all
to
the
the
attention
lastborn.
just shifts
The new
to
lastborn.
the new lastborn. Some people can really feel bad about that.
I was
Very
told a
interesting.
story that my sister, now Sivna, I'm the last one. So my sister, there's one day she dropped me, like,
Same.
she was like, amekuja kuninyang'anya. So
Yeah, so how can you deal with, say, that specific type of change? How do you feel like we can deal with that type of change?
Okay, I'll also give my personal experience on this. So, okay, so I was 4 years when I have younger sisters, but they're twins, so we just have a difference of 4 years in between. So I was used to all the luxuries and stuff. Like you say, Dad, I want this. It's
And
brought
it comes.
for. Dad, let's go to this place. You go. So when they came, I was like, okay, I can remember I was told, like I asked this question, like, okay, so whose children are these? Because I was used to being alone, and like out of the blues, I see my mom stepping in with two children. I'm like, what is this?
I think-
okay, it was really hard for me. It was because all the attention was shifted to them, but I just had to accept. But by the way, shout out to my parents, Mr. Saul and Nancy. Shout out to them, because like whatever happened, or like during that process, they still showed me the love that like we all are
needed,
related
yeah.
by blood, and
I
they never let me
think, I
down.
think, like he said, parents should, like, you don't just come out of the blues with children. Like, you should see it, if maybe the one that you have, maybe it's somehow older, you should sit him or her down and tell her, you know what, we expect
You're
Yeah,
going to have
yeah.
siblings, you can excite them.
Yeah, so that they can be
Have
like
A new sister or a
excited.
new brother.
And when the sibling comes, you can make the former last born an attention giver. Telling them kuja ushike sister yako, kuja ushike brother yako. Kuja
Make them
come
occupied,
feed them.
no.
Show them how to. Because since they are not the last borns anymore,
Yeah.
they are going to have a last born to take care of sometimes when the parents are not at home. So they can begin to know how to be responsible. By that, they can begin to show love to their siblings.
Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, it just build up enmity between siblings. And
Yeah.
that's not the case. It's not supposed to be that way.
Yes, and so we are going to read some comments from our last week's show. We'll start from our Facebook page. The first one, Al Spencer says, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Collins, Disney, falling from Watchtower. Thanks, Collins. And shout out to Grace, that's Sabina Lynn. Michael Kothoyugi says, children should vote if they do it in our primary schools, why not in the matters of the nation? Wow, that's so interesting.
Okay.
And Stella Juma says, from watching from Kisumu. Then let's go to our YouTube page. Shania Njambi. Wow. Shania, hope so I've pronounced it right, Shania. Lead show as always. Thanks, Shania. And Will Harry Edif says, Pasi, I look at this and I do research before I vote. And Ryan OK saying, wise being wise. Nina Nalo says, can't wait. Yeah, I think that's it for our comments. And remember again to like, share,
Comment.
and comment.
Yeah, so we have come to the end. So I have been your host, Omoto, and we have been your panel. We have Ray over there.
Yep.
Yeah, we have my girl Virginia, and we have Ryan over here. So we also acknowledge the live audience. You have been amazing here. Woo!
Keeping
Yeah.
it lit.
So please comment below, subscribe to this channel, and like. Yes.
Hope we've helped
Yeah,
someone
hope we've
outside
helped you
there.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
wanaume to open up.
But then let's
Wanaume
open up, yo.
ongeni.
Yeah,
Very
so
true.
see you next time.
Comments,
Same place, same
comments.
time. Comment, like, and subscribe.
Ciao.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys.
Peace.
Bye.